Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American supernatural horror film from 2025, titled Candlewood. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens on a beach, where we see the lifeless bodies of a woman and her daughter lying in a pool of blood. Nearby, a distraught man, the husband and father, holds a gun, seemingly responsible for their deaths, and suddenly, he kills himself. The story then shifts to a family of four: Kevin, his wife Veronica, and their children Mateo and Sarah. They move from the city into a luxurious home called Castlewood Hill in New Milford. The realtor, Maud Sherman, welcomes them and mentions that the house has been renovated several times. She briefly seems distracted by a shotgun mounted on the wall before leaving to meet another client. While unpacking, Sarah tells Kevin she doesn't like the new house and wants to return to the city. However, Kevin reassures her that she'll get used to it. Sarah points out the shotgun, but Kevin says it's probably broken and just for decoration. Later that night, while shopping for groceries, Kevin mentions to the cashier that he just moved into Castlewood Hill, which makes the cashier look unsettled. On his way back from the store, Kevin spots a man standing on their property, but the figure quickly runs off. The next morning at breakfast, Veronica tells Kevin she has called an internet technician because the area has poor service. She also mentions a bee problem outside and asks Kevin to find the property manager. Mateo and Sarah join them, but Sarah is still upset about moving. She misses her girlfriend Alex, who is still in the city. Kevin tries to cheer her up by saying that living close to nature will be good for them. Not feeling hungry, Sarah decides to go for a jog and invites Veronica to come along. Meanwhile, Kevin and Mateo go on a short hike in the woods to look for the property manager. They find an isolated shack and knock, but no one answers. Kevin looks through a window and sees a puppet sitting in front of a TV. Suddenly, a mentally unstable woman named Marla appears, pointing an unloaded gun at Kevin and rambling about someone named Freddy.
Mateo, run!
You made Freddy go away!
Mateo runs away in fear, and Kevin quickly follows after realizing the gun isn't loaded. While shouting for help, Kevin and Mateo run into Eli Boardman, the elderly property manager. Eli tells Kevin not to worry about Marla, saying she is harmless and not to involve the police. When Kevin asks about Freddy, Eli shares a local legend. Long ago, Liliana, the daughter of an indigenous tribal chief, fell in love with Frederick, a white outsider. Their forbidden love ended in tragedy when Liliana drowned herself in the nearby Housatonic River. Frederick tried to save her but drowned too, and the place where they died became known as Lover's Leap. According to the legend, the spirits of the two lovers still haunt the area, trying to keep outsiders away. Kevin also notices that many townspeople seem unfriendly, often staring at him. Before leaving, Kevin asks Eli to come by their house to help with the bee problem, and Eli agrees. At home, the shotgun on the wall draws Kevin's attention, and he is surprised to find it loaded. Confused, he decides to hide it in a closet for everyone's safety. Meanwhile, during their jog through the forest, Veronica and Sarah visit Lover's Leap. On their way back, Sarah loses sight of Veronica and hears her voice coming from an empty hut. When Sarah investigates, she hallucinates something terrifying inside and wrongly believes Veronica set it up to scare her. They return home with Sarah angry at Veronica, which Kevin notices while working outside. While clearing dry leaves, Kevin briefly sees Eli in the nearby woods, but realizes it was just a hallucination. Later, Mateo goes to Sarah's room to tell her the story of Frederick and Liliana. However, Sarah dismisses it as just a made-up legend and asks him to leave. As Mateo walks away, he suddenly experiences a hallucination of his own. That night, Kevin asks Veronica why Sarah seemed upset after their jog, but Veronica says she doesn't know. Kevin shares a strong bond with Sarah, which sometimes makes Veronica, his second wife, feel like she's not his top priority. The next day during breakfast, Sarah hallucinates Mateo with an eyeball in his mouth. This causes tension in the family, and Veronica steps in to defend Mateo. Later, while chopping wood, Kevin hallucinates Eli approaching him with a chainsaw, but in reality, Eli is just helping him cut the logs.
Hold that chainsaw over your head like a...
Mr. Boardman's just trying to help Dad.
Meanwhile, Veronica is greeted by a neighborhood girl named Brandy, who comes to welcome them. During their conversation, Brandy shows an unusual interest in Kevin and openly says she wants a man like him, making Veronica jealous, and Veronica quickly sends her away. Eli's real reason for visiting is to handle the pest problem, and when Kevin sees Eli smoking a pipe, he accuses him of being the figure he saw lurking around the property the other night. Annoyed by the accusation, Eli insists Kevin must have seen someone else. Later, while behind the house, Mateo hears strange noises from the woods and sees a vision of Frederick approaching him. Terrified, Mateo runs to Kevin and insists that someone is chasing him. He quickly arms himself with an axe, but when Kevin finds no one there, he doesn't believe Mateo. That night, Mateo goes to Sarah's room to tell her about what he saw, but Sarah, who is still angry at him, doesn't listen. As Kevin prepares for bed, he sees Eli standing inside their house, but it's just another hallucination. After taking a bath, Sarah begins to hear strange noises coming from outside her bathroom window. When she looks, she sees Liliana standing there, but she realizes it's just a hallucination. That night, while trying to sleep, Mateo sees Frederick again and screams, waking everyone up. However, it's just another hallucination. Kevin and Veronica don't believe him, but Sarah insists Mateo is telling the truth because she's seeing things too. Kevin tries to reassure them that the house isn't haunted and that ghosts aren't real, but he admits that Eli has been acting strangely around their property. Skeptical of everything being said, Veronica becomes frustrated and tries to leave. However, Mateo insults her, causing Veronica to snap. She harshly tells him he is a burden to her and that she's been taking care of him since his biological father abandoned them. The next day, while working outside, Kevin is approached by Brandy, and seeing them talk, Veronica gets upset and slaps Brandy across the face. While trying to calm her down, Veronica hallucinates that Kevin is smiling at her, which unnerves her. Just then, Kevin also has a hallucination of Eli.
You're out here, mother...
That night during dinner, the entire family seems to fall under a spell of psychosis, and Kevin, along with his children, starts seeing things in the woods. Increasingly jealous of Kevin's bond with Sarah, Veronica lashes out and injures Sarah with a broken glass shard. To calm her down, Kevin, Sarah, and Mateo restrain her, and Kevin forcefully gives Veronica sleeping pills. The next day, while sitting outside, Kevin hears Brandy screaming for help in the woods. He rushes to find her with a twisted ankle and offers to carry her home. As they walk, Brandy starts making romantic advances toward Kevin. He almost reciprocates, but she threatens to expose him to Veronica, revealing that her injury was a lie. Back home, Kevin gives Veronica her sleeping pills and then heads outside with his shotgun after spotting Eli near the property. He accuses Eli of scaring his kids every night and spying on Sarah in the bathroom, but Eli insists he knows nothing about it. Kevin threatens Eli with consequences and orders him to stay away from the house. That night, Sarah and Mateo are haunted by the spirits of the lovers, but Kevin sees nothing. Instead, he finds Eli sneaking around their house. He rushes outside with his shotgun to hunt down Eli, but he's nowhere to be seen. Kevin rushes back inside, only to be attacked by Veronica, who has now woken up. On the other hand, Sarah and Mateo are haunted by the spirits of Frederick and Liliana. Mateo runs outside and hides, while Veronica tries to escape with Sarah, but Sarah refuses and rushes back to the house. However, Kevin hallucinates Sarah as Eli and shoots her. He also tracks down Mateo's hiding spot and, seeing him as Eli, shoots Mateo too. Realizing what he has done, Kevin is racked with guilt and remorse. Veronica breaks down in tears after seeing Sarah's lifeless body, and realizing Mateo's fate as well, she rushes into the house, grabs a knife, and runs into the woods. Still seeing her as Eli, Kevin goes after her and confronts her at a riverfront. Even though they're not hallucinating at that moment, mentally, they have both turned into complete wrecks. Kevin embraces his wife to reconcile with her, only for a mentally troubled Veronica to stab him in the back. As Kevin collapses from his injuries, he opens fire, resulting in Veronica's death as well. The mystery surrounding the harrowing psychosis is revealed when Eli is seen gathering mushrooms in the woods and mixing them to form a hallucinogenic dust. It turns out Eli used to spread this dust across Candlewood Hill, which awakened the worst fears and insecurities of the Barrington family members, eventually turning the broken family against itself. It is revealed that Brandy is Eli's daughter, and the hallucinations that the Barrington family is experiencing are the result of the shroom powder. As seen in Eli and Brandy's house, Liliana was probably one of their ancestors. Upholding her legend, the father-daughter duo wanted to keep outsiders away from Castlewood. This implies that the death of the family of three shown at the beginning was also orchestrated by them, using the mystical shroom powder. In the end, a new family is seen moving into the villa, with Sherman welcoming them. Needless to say, they too will suffer similar consequences as the former owners. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Candlewood from 2025. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.